Why do some immigration waivers seem so unusual? Imagine trying to fit a puzzle piece into a spot that doesn't quite match. That's often what it feels like when dealing with certain immigration waivers. These waivers are part of the US immigration system, which is built on strict rules and clear-cut criteria. But real life doesn't always fit into neat boxes, especially when it comes to family, health, or humanitarian issues. That's where the unusual nature of some waivers comes from. Most immigration laws create grounds of inadmissibility. This means if someone has overstayed a visa, committed fraud, or has a criminal record, they might be barred from entering or staying in the United States. But sometimes, these rules seem harsh or unfair when they don't consider the human side of things. For example, a parent might face separation from their child because of a minor legal issue or a health problem that makes relocation impossible. These situations push the boundaries of what the law typically considers. The key factor that makes some waivers seem so unusual is the requirement to prove extreme hardship. Unlike proving something factual, like a criminal conviction, showing hardship involves convincing officials that the situation would cause suffering beyond what is normal. For example, a child with a serious illness might need special medical care only available in the United States. Moving the family to another country could mean losing access to that care, which could be considered extreme hardship. The challenge is that what counts as extreme hardship varies from case to case, making outcomes unpredictable. Another reason some waivers seem strange is the way they weigh different family relationships. Usually, only spouses or parents who are United States citizens or lawful permanent residents can support a waiver. That means a child who is a United States citizen cannot typically help their parent get a waiver, even if the parent faces serious hardship. But in cases involving crimes, a child who is a citizen or lawful permanent resident can support the waiver. These rules can seem inconsistent or confusing, especially for people unfamiliar with the law. When reviewing a waiver application, officials look at many factors. They consider whether the family member can find work in the home country, speak the language, or has ties there. They also examine the health of the family members, the country conditions, and the applicant's contributions to the community. No single factor decides the case. Instead, officials balance all these elements, which can lead to different results even in similar situations. For Black immigrants and other communities of color, these waivers often carry extra weight. Many face disproportionate enforcement and barriers. When a Black immigrant parent who was brought to the United States as a child faces removal, the waiver process becomes a vital way to stay together. If a family faces dangerous conditions or lacks medical care in their home country, they can argue that separation would cause severe harm. The waiver system, though not perfect, provides a chance to make a case for staying united. The unusual aspect of waivers also comes from how they combine different hardship factors. For example, a child who has lived their whole life in the United States and only speaks English might not seem to qualify on their own. But when you add in the family's community ties, the applicant's contributions, and the difficult conditions back home, the case becomes stronger. It's often the combination of these elements that makes a waiver successful, even if each one alone might not be enough. In 2014, the government expanded the provisional waiver program to make it easier for families to apply. This change aimed to reduce family separation and speed up the process. Still, the standards remain as high, and the process can be complicated. Families need to gather lots of documents like medical records, proof of employment, and reports on country conditions. They also have to translate documents and get police clearances, which can take time and money. This effort shows how much families are willing to invest to stay together. Ultimately, what makes some waivers seem so unusual is that they acknowledge the limits of strict rules. The system creates laws to enforce immigration, but sometimes those laws conflict with values of family unity and fairness. Waivers act as a way for officials to say, in this case, the hardship is so severe that enforcing the rule would be unjust. For Black immigrant families and others facing tough circumstances, understanding how these waivers work can be the key to remaining in the country they call home.